Oh God, my hair. my hair. All right, we're good. Whoa, dodged a fucking bullet there. We dodged another bullet here on New York Giants. Linda Stimmons, New York Giants Try Talk, powered by the mighty Online Big Blue LLC, and of course brought to you by our one and only, the mighty FanDuel. So there's a head coach. I mean, there's a head coach. There's a new offensive coordinator, and evidently certain segments of the New York Giant community are pissing in their Cheerios. Why? Did you really want Davis Webb? Did you really want Alex Tanney? So the Giants hired Matt Nagy. I'm going to tell you this, guys. People say that I'm negative. People say that I have this, that I'm the negative one. The Giants are starting to do things right, and people are complaining. Why the fuck are you complaining about Matt Nagy? He won with Mitchell Trubisky. If you win with Mitchell Trubisky alone, that should make you a saint. You have 2 playoff appearances with Mitchell Trubisky as your quarterback. This guy is a former quarterback, and I'm gonna, again, he's from Pennsylvania. He played high school in Pennsylvania, so I'm a little biased again. He also went to Delaware, and I have a lot of friends that went to Delaware. And people are worried. You're already worried that he doesn't call plays. Really? So when he was the Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator in 16-17, he didn't call his plays. He didn't call any plays. When he's the Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator from 23-25, he didn't call plays. Dear Lord, people, pull your heads out of your asses. This was a good hire. This was a smart hire. You want to turn around and you want to build a quarterback of the future. You have a guy here that was a quarterback, played quarterback. You have a gentleman here who has worked in the league for X amount of years. You have a gentleman here who was a successful head coach. And some people are complaining, we didn't get Alex Tanney or Davis Webb. Oh, dear Lord. So also when he started calling plays back in 2008 to 2009 in high school, he wasn't an offensive coordinator. I'm harnessing my Reno Hightower. I'm wearing my Rocket jersey, Taft Rocket jersey, because people just want, you know what? And I've said this before. There's a certain segment of Giant fans that are just waiting for the fucking shoe to drop. They're waiting for the shoe to drop. They are waiting for something that they can sit there and hold on to with their little fingers and say, this is wrong. This is wrong.
Ben?
Yes, hon.
More Hot Pockets.
Right away, hon.
But that's all right. That's all right. Because you want to know why? Because I'm not going to let these people. I'm not going to let these people put me down. I'm not going to let these people put me down. No, I'm not going to let these people put me down, because you want to know why I'm not going to let these people put down? Because you actually have a good hire. You have a guy that had a winning record as a head coach of Chicago Bears with Mitchell Trubisky. Yeah, he lost twice in the wild card game. But this is a guy that understands. This is a guy, and I loved it because of the fact that you have to remember, this is a younger team. This is a younger generation. This is a guy that created that post-game locker room celebration called The Club. Our club dub, I think it was. I don't remember what it was fucking called. It was a dance party. It was a disco ball. There was in lights and everything. This is a guy that can relate. This is a guy that understands how to win. But it's okay. It's all right. I mean, people literally just people just want to just want to be miserable when it comes to the Giants. And people say that I'm miserable. This is just people that just want to be miserable. This is a guy that you brought in who is familiar with the NFL. He is familiar with everything that is going on. He gets it. He's worked with, like I said, when you win with Mitchell Trubisky, you immediately jump to the head of the class. Because when Mitchell Trubisky is a quarterback, you're a quarterback, and you take him and you go to the playoffs with him twice, they need to build you a fucking statue. And I don't want to break the news to certain people out there. Mitchell Trubisky has a lot of similarities to Jaxson Dart. I actually compared the two back in the day. That they got some similarities. Just be happy. Why can't people? This is why New York Giant fans cannot fucking have nice things. Because we start doing things right. We're putting together a solid, winning, established coaching staff, and people are upset that we didn't get Davis Webb, who top title in the league is passing offensive coordinator. Like I said, when I'm the bastion of hope, when I'm the voice of reason, guys, we're fucked. We're screwed. When I'm the voice of reason. I want people that are against the Matt Nagy thing, bringing him in. I want you to tell me why. What is your rationale for hating Matt Nagy? What is your rationale? I would be curious what that means. He's worked with a rookie quarterback. You could literally say he got the most talent out of Mitchell Trubisky. And I love you. People like, well, this was an underwhelming. I love Giant Beaters. This is an underwhelming choice. But no one's giving me any reasons or rationale why they dislike the move. Do they just not like the name because you don't know if you should pronounce it Nagy or Nagy? Does that make you verklempt? That you don't know how to pronounce it? This is a guy that the players loved. This is a guy that can work with Jaxson Dart. This is a guy that has been around and mentored the likes of Patrick Mahomes. This is a guy that has done so many. This is a guy that has worked in a winning system in both Kansas City and Chicago when he was the head coach. This is a guy that if you sit there and you think about it, it could literally help you develop and maturate your quarterback, because you're still going to bring in a quarterback coach as well. So this is not a bad thing. This is a good thing. You are bringing in competent personnel to be on this coaching staff. That's what you're doing. You are bringing back competent personnel. This is a guy that Harbaugh's never worked with. He's never worked with before, but he shares the same types of background from the Andy Reid coaching tree. Harbaugh was with the Eagles, and of course Nagy was in Philadelphia. Harbaugh, I think, was in 2007. I think Nagy was 2008. This is a guy that is coming in here that literally turned Mitchell Trubisky into a winning quarterback. I always love it because we talked about this before when everyone wanted Kevin Stefanski. He was the coach of the year. Well, Matt Nagy was the coach of the year. He had sustained success with a bad quarterback. With the Bears, also, Nagy called the plays on offense. He gave up the responsibilities back in, I think it was in 2020, but then went back to it in 2021. Plus, he just happens to be a former quarterback who is a huge proponent of the West Coast offense. And watch this. You know what Matt Nagy likes? Quarterbacks that are mobile and can move in the pocket, which fits Jaxson Dart. But instead, you want a Jim Bob Dukes of Hazzard Cooter. or Davis. I've never done anything besides being a pass coordinator. Webb or Alex Tanney. I tell you guys, we're fucked. I'm the voice of reason. We're fucked. We're doomed. Except my hair looks great. But let's be fair. This is only a guy that likes mobile quarterbacks. He runs a West Coast style offense. He likes quarterbacks that can move in the pocket, which all fit the skill sets for Jaxson Dart. What a fucking shitty hire. And if I hear anything about anything from Chode Sports or the two fucking tennis players or the Super Friends, I'm going to fucking vomit. Because you people, not the people in the chat, because fans are, listen, I'm going to tell you something. Fans are smart. There's way too many smart fans here. We have way too many smart fans. Tommy Two Socks says, I love when Tim gets fired up and spits facts. Thank you, Tommy, because you want to know why? Because these are all facts. This is factual based. You have a guy that called the plays for the Bears, and people are like, he never called plays. This is a guy that was an offensive coordinator for 4 years, going back even to high school. He's not an offensive coordinator. We mentioned this guy. We mentioned Matt Nagy 2 weeks ago. Giants Among Men, I think was in the chat earlier. And he said, Tim, you mentioned Matt Nagy. I didn't think we were going to get Matt Nagy. I really didn't. This is a guy that's been with a winning coaching tree in Kansas City, was a winning head coach, was a coach of a year, and made a professional quarterback out of Mitchell Trubisky and had Mitchell Trubisky take him to the playoffs for 2 seasons. Yeah, they lost in the wild card game, once to the Eagles and once to the Saints. But this is a guy that is a professional who his players love. His players love him. He's in the club. He won 2 Super Bowls technically as an offensive coordinator with the Kansas City Chiefs. After he got fired in Chicago. But Giant fans and segments of content creators like, I don't like this guy. This is why you never played the fucking game, some of these people, because they're too goddamn stupid. Not you guys, content creators. Don't listen to any content creators. They're all fucking morons. If you don't like Matt Nagy, you're a fucking moron as a content creator. Because I can give you 30 reasons why this guy is perfect for your quarterback, for Jaxson Dart. Everyone knows I am not a Jaxson Dart fan. Everybody knows. Make sure you're hitting the like button, guys. Everybody knows I'm not a Jaxson Dart fan. But I feel better now. I feel better now that we have Matt Nagy. I feel better now that we have a guy in John Harbaugh, and who's going to be working with being hopefully the CEO of the Giants. I like Denard Wilson. I like the Matt Nagy hired. Slider says, like I said, I'm 50-50, but I want it to work. Plus, I'm not sure who's out there, Webb or Tony. Come on. That's the thing. You want me to give you a reason? I'm going to give you a bunch of reasons. Watch this off Broadway. Watch this. You ready? You ready? Here we go. He made a quarterback and sustained success with Mitchell Trubisky. He is a guy that likes mobile quarterbacks, that likes quarterbacks that can move in the pocket. And he runs a West Coast, and he prefers a West Coast style offense. And he likes, like I said, mobile quarterbacks who can move in the pocket. Who does that sound like? And here's the thing. I've already said this a million times before. Jaxson Dart is not known for having a big arm. If you run a West Coast offense, neither was Mitchell Trubisky. If you run a West Coast offense and you keep it not maybe Bill Walsh-esque, but you go a little bit more George Seifert, and you have a mobile quarterback, and you're being taught by a former college quarterback, and you're being taught by a former Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator, and you're being taught by a former head coach, that's a recipe for success for your second-year quarterback at Ole Miss. Everything that if you go back and watch the Bears, not Bears, if you go back and watch the Bears, the way Trubisky plays, it's very eerily similar at times to Jaxson Dart. Think of it that way. It's kind of similar. And this guy's 47 years old. He relates to his players. His players loved him with the Bears. Not Bears. And he is a guy that knows how to work with a young quarterback. And of course, because you have to say he was the coach of the year. And with the Bears, Nagy called the offense. He gave up the responsibility of calling the offense in 2001 for a period of time. But then back in 2021, he went back to calling the offense. This is why when I see moronic people, not you, off Broadway, that says, hey, he's never been an offensive coordinator, he's never called the plays. He called the plays for most of his tenure with the Bears. I mean, like I said, I've said this a million times before. We're all screwed. I'm the voice of reason now. We might as well just jump off the bridge because I'm defending the Giants. Omega Supreme says, most context creators do content for the future. I told you so. We live in that I told you so world, but refuse to take accountability when they're wrong. Tim admits when he's wrong. That's an A+. I do admit when I'm wrong. I've been wrong a lot. No, not that much. But when I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong. And like I said, everyone kept telling me, well, you're negative. I'm not negative. You do something right, I admit it. You do something that goes totally against the grain, I give you props. This is a good hire. I'll buy that for $1. RoboCop. I gotta give the Giants props. Let's get to the chat because I'm curious to see what everyone thinks. Giants Among Men. I like it. Here it is, right here. This was out of left field, but Tim, you mentioned the name too. I'm going to put the link in the chat early. If anyone's out there that wants to either dismiss Matt Nagy, I don't know if it's Nagy or Nagy. I never know. I'm nagging with Nagy. But I'm going to put the link in the chat early. If you got something to say about Matt, come on. But I think it's a good, solid hire. It's a good, solid football hire. And certain content creators who have never been right about anything in 5 years, who are telling you this is a bad hire, they should send their giant content creator card back to Cheerios, because evidently that's where they got it out of a box of. 47-year-old, smart football guy, called most of the plays in Chicago, won 2 Super Bowls as the offensive coordinator in KC, and works with young rookie quarterbacks, runs the West Coast offense, and prefers a mobile running quarterback who can move in the pocket. You only trade up to draft one of those. And you don't have to have a huge arm to run this style of West Coast offense. And like I said, I would go George Seifert, West Coast. I wouldn't go early Bill Walsh. I wouldn't go Montana. I would go Young. I would go Seifert, Young. And those that don't know football, don't know history of football, you can look that up. I'm not going to teach you the difference between the two. I like it. Was Rodriguez says, how do you feel? I like the hire. What's the matter, Joey? All we need to do is trust John H. and make the hire. Hope he got a good offensive line coach to be the next OC. We're going to be fine. Tiki said he likes to hire. I have heard the good and I've heard the bad on Nagy. Trust the process. First of all, I hate trust the process because I quasi had Philadelphia Sixers season tickets for years because I just enjoyed going back. I just enjoy going to basketball games. I'm only like 45 minutes away from Philadelphia. And I used to hate that. We got to trust the process. Well, the process gave you Ben Simmons, Noel Embiid, Nerlens Noel, Marcus Falk. The system didn't work out too well. Joe Shane said, hey, how about Davis Webb? Joe Harbaugh said, get me some more coffee. I have to make a call. Joe Shane said, what about Davis Webb? John Harbaugh said, fuck you, I'm going Matt Nagy. He's not even on the list. No, Joe. He's not on your list. When we gave you a list, we gave you a clipboard and a box of crayons. So you just keep working on that, Joe. James Williams says, don't forget Nagy was the coach of a mobile quarterback. Mitch Trubisky won 10 games like a mobile quarterback in the playoffs, better than just an offensive quality control assistant who's never called a play in his life. But we're only going to be upset that we got a guy that went to the playoffs twice. Oh, and everyone loves it. Like I said, we all love with Kevin Stefanski, except for me. He won Coach of the Year. Hit that like button for Big James says. James, where are you at? I know you're not working today. James Stein says, good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon, James. Mike Lee, afternoon, Tim. Smash that like button on the way in. Mike Layton says, at least it's not Cliff. Let's see if he can teach Theo to catch the damn ball. He is going to, this is actually a really good hire. And I think you need to rally around this. And I usually don't agree with Tiki Barber because, Tiki Barber left his wife for an intern. Bashed Eli Manning. There's a lot of things I don't agree with Tiki Barber. But this is a good hire. So we hired Matt Nagy as our OC. Okay, a lot of people are trashing this guy. What do you think? We've talked about that. So my guess, they are trashing due to his stay in Chicago as they choose that. He did, and that he did not call plays wild with the Kansas City Chiefs. There's such a misconception about that. We're not going to get into that, Mike Lee. But that's all right. That's all right. Oh, Christopher Liverman, can't wait to hear your view on this one. Hit that like button. Thank you, brother. Strider says, I got to be honest. I got mixed feelings. Well, Chris, we just talked about that. I personally think it's a better option than Alex Tanny or Webb with no OC experience, but I don't really know what to think either. I'm going to tell you what to think. I did prophesize this hire. Eric, you know what? You're not the first one. You weren't the first one to tell me that. I forgot all about that. I mentioned Matt Nagy like a couple weeks ago. I forgot all about that. I think Giants Among Men earlier in the chat was like, you called this, Tim, a couple weeks back. You said Matt Nagy. Yeah, and I didn't. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you this. This is what I'm going to tell you, Chris. John Harbaugh is already putting together a stellar opportunity. And I'm not saying stellar staff, I'm saying stellar opportunity. And that stellar opportunity is the fact that you are putting people in place that can teach. You are putting people in place that can be mentors. One of the biggest problems that the Giants have is the fact that they never develop talent. Told the story about Denard Wilson real quick. I'll tell it again real quick. Denard Wilson was in Tennessee for a week. They ran their first practice in preseason or training camp, I should say. They interviewed one of the players, and one of the interviewed players says, we love Denard Wilson because if we do something wrong, we go back and we work on it and we make it better and we fix it. And he said in this previous regime, which was Shane Bowen, if we did something wrong, we just stopped doing it. We didn't learn how to do it. We just stopped doing it. Then you bring in Matt Nagy, who worked with Mitchell Trubisky, made him a competent NFL quarterback for 2 years. Here we go. Let's Big Don. Besides Syracuse basketball sucking, I
can't hear anything.
Big Don, come in, Don. We lost Big Don. Big Don was going to come in, but Matt Nagy worked with Mitch Trubisky, not with knowing of a strong arm quarterback, more of a mobile quarterback, more of limited talent. And what has Mitchell Trubisky done since he's left the Bears? Nothing. He went to the playoffs twice with the Bears. And his players loved him in Chicago. So we have two guys in Denard Wilson and Matt Nagy, whose players they love, who evidently can mentor and teach people. And certain people are against it. Are you back? Get out of the sun.
Yes. Look, I'm absorbing right now. Is that okay? I'm absorbing right now.
Can you just tell these people that this is a good hire?
No, Tim. I'm not going to say it's a good hire. It's a great hire. Tim? Remember a couple of years ago? We were just talking about Mike Trubisky being a possible backup for us.
Yes.
And people don't realize that Nagy is the reason why Trubisky is who Trubisky is. He was hired.
Success in the NFL.
Yeah, he went to the reason the Bears even hired him was to help Trubisky out. And look what happened. I'm like, there's your proof in the pudding that he can and will have the knowledge, can produce NFL talent quarterbacks and progressing their talent or making it cultivate, as you like to say, cultivate.
If you compare talent, who on the Giants has similar talent and skill sets to Mitchell Trubisky?
It rhymes with fart. Oh, Dart. Dart.
Jaxson Dart happens to have similar skills as Mitchell Trubisky.
Yep, the physical attributes, can't stay still in the pocket, throws a certain window. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
If you're running a mobile West Coast style offense, and I've said this before, not Bill Walsh, but George Seifert, Steve Young, West Coast style offense, and you have a mobile quarterback who doesn't have great arm strength, but has average NFL arm strength, you can build an offense with Matt Nagy.
Yes, you can. You know what? I don't know if the audience ever really paid attention to when the Bears actually had a certain quarterback situation going on, because the Bears are always known for the defense, as we know.
Yep.
And then they had a time where they actually had a nice little quarterback situation going on. And it's like people totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Like there's coaches that literally have been other places that have shown the proof in the pudding, and people just totally forgot about that. And he was calling plays. How did people forget this man was literally calling the plays? Well, and people are saying he never called plays?
That's what I love. They're like, well, he's never called plays before. I'm like, he stopped calling plays for a period of time in 2020, but then he called plays again in 21. So he called plays his entire beginning tenure when they were going to the playoffs, and then stopped for a small period of window, and then went back to calling the plays. But he doesn't call plays. And I think one of the most difficult things to do in the NFL, because of the fact that you don't see the full advantage of the field, is to be a play caller from the field.
Yep, they use a lot of head coaches frown upon that because you can't see the whole field. They're like, no, be in the box.
You don't get the Polaroids right away. You don't get to see everything. And to me, if you can do that as an NFL head coach and win, because everyone loves Kevin Stefanski because he's a 2-time coach of the year, and win coach of the year, how is that not a pedigree and the perfect pedigree for your young quarterback?
Because people like the sexy names. We know how this game goes, Tim. They want this sexy name.
It's pretty sexy. He was in the club, man. He invented the club in Chicago.
You know what? It's funny. It's funny that you said that, but when I say I meant the new hot sexy, not the look at this guy who was there during that time. But I'm like, no, he's building a coaching staff that teaches. I love it.
We want the new hotness. I got you. We want the new hotness.
Yeah, they definitely want the new hot. Yes, the new sexy hotness. We don't want the 1990 ladies. They want the 2020s.
I got you.
With all the flash and the fakeness.
I'm with you. But like I said, this is a good hire. People that don't think it's a good hire, you know what? Just I'm not going to make fun of you for being stupid, but just wait and see. Just do your research. Don't go to me. Don't go to other content creators. Do your own research and see why this is a really smart hire for the New York Giants and Jaxson Dart.
Yeah, especially those PFF lovers. They can go back to that time and they can look at exactly how Trubisky was playing and those PFF numbers that people love to use and compare it to how our situation at quarterback has been. Since me and we have the PFF lovers.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm with you, man. Like I said, I just think people need to, you know what, just trust in the Harbaugh, trust in the process of all this, and we're going to be fine. This is, mentioned before, this is another smart hire in reference to coaching and developing talent.
Agreed. All right, Big Tim, it's trying to get busy over here in the car wash. I'm going to holler at you. Go Big Blue. Let's go.
What dropped today? What dropped 10 a.m. today?
10 a.m.? Yeah. Nah, I'd be earlier than that.
No, I was told it was 10 a.m. it came out.
But what source? When I no. It was way, but it was like 5. It's like 6 a.m. our time Central. That comes out way early. Like I already bought some stuff. Like I just need to play it.
To the fucking car. Go get the car.
All right, y'all take it easy. 315.
Too bad they can't play basketball. Oh. Wow. All right, see? I mean, listen, guys. Well, let me get back to the chat. Because I am curious. I want to see everyone's complex. How you doing, Peter? I'm doing good. Strider said, your hair is fine, Tim. I like the OC hire. What does Dylan say? He doesn't call plays. He does call plays. He called plays in Chicago for almost his entire tenure outside of a small period of time in 2020. Stability hire. I like it. I can see Nagy as a bridge to more successful OC in 2 to 3 years. I could see him build. You know what I could see? Dylan, that's actually an excellent point. I could see this hire being a hire as a bridge because Nagy at 47 years old gets another head coaching opportunity after he turns around the New York Giant offense. Now, I will say this, people like, make sure you're hitting the like button, people like Malik Neighbors might be a little upset because this guy isn't probably going to be running a high-powered downfield offense. But, Jerry Rice was Jonathan Taylor was very successful in a very concise West Coast style offense. Petro says, I'm not jumping for joy, but I think Dart will have success because I like the system. So he meshes well with Dart. He meshes very well with Dart. I might actually go buy a Dart jersey. Let's see. What's Ms. Roberts says, hey, Tim, after seeing the Chiefs and the Ravens on offense, the Giants are going to need a big running back there, where they're going to run a lot, and the Giants don't have a big running back. Yeah, the Giants do need a big running back. I've said this before. The Giants do need a bell cow back. They need a guy that can give you 25, 30 carries and move the pile and also have some breakaway speed. It's like, what they should get. I don't know if, we've never really seen it. They should go like a young Saquon Barkley. Oh, wait a minute. We had him. He also grew up a Giant fan. So that's even better. I love him even more. New York State of Mind says, how do you feel about being relieved of play calling duties and then being released? Would you would like your take on that? So what does that matter? So no one's ever been fired or let go because you're going to blame everything that happened on Kansas City on him? That doesn't make sense. I've never been fired, but no one else has ever been fired or just was I'm not going to say scapegoat for the job, but never ever had an issue with that. Dart and Tanny played for the Giants draft race. I think Tony was a gentleman. Okay, I agree. I will pray to the Lord. I will pray to the Lord Harbaugh that he is the one, and I hope I'm dead wrong. I think he's right. What's good, Keyshawn? What's up, my brother? How you doing? Everything's good, man. I'm happy in Giant land. I'm in my mansion in Florida. 72 degrees. My hair is perfect. I got my Reno Hightower jersey on. I just finished a cup of coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, we hired Matt Nagy. We're good. Life's good. It's a safe. Actually, I don't think it's a Jamal. I'm going to finish your comment, but I don't think it's a safe choice. It's a safe choice, and Nagy will task with developing Bart, and he should do well. I'm concerned about the running game. I'm concerned about the running game too, but I'm not going to blame Matt Nagy for that. I mean, you do have to move on from Tyrone Tracy, I think. I have no clue what Cam Skadaboo. I personally have no clue what Cam Skadaboo is. I know every other Giant content creator knows he's going to be the best running back in the league. I don't know that because I've seen a guy that never ran. I've seen a guy that has not run over for 100 yards yet in his pro career and coming off an injury. So, I mean, I don't know that. Is this the time to go after Love from out of Notre Dame? Is that a time to get, a 6 foot, 215-pound running back, a guy that can run between the tackles? Okay. That's not a bad option. There were some big backs in this year's draft. I like that kid. Oh, excuse me. I think he was with the Razorbacks. I think he was with Arkansas. What's his name? Named after a president. Mike Washington. I know he's a big back. He's like 6 feet, 230. He still runs like a 4.46. He is a guy that I know he's bounced around between a couple other programs, but he's the ideal bowling ball size running back that you want. He's a prototypical 6'2", 230 pounds. He's a muscle guy that's a downhill runner, and which is what you need. Yeah, like I said, he's gone, I think, 2 or 3 programs. I think he's been in 3. I think he went to 3 programs in 3 seasons. I know he had some problems, but I don't care, because you have problems in school, then you get problems here. You'll be fine. We're all good, guys. Fireside Giants got me mad early for. Oh, gee, why would you go to Fireside Giants? Fireside Giants got me mad earlier for consistently exposing their biased content. They are comparing Dart to Mahomes early. Yeah. And both of those motherfuckers are tennis players. I love your soundbite. So do I, brother. Okay, listen. If someone is a former tennis player, it's not someone I'm going to listen to and say, you know what? You know a lot about football. Because your backhand, you got to keep your elbow straight on your backhand. This is why I don't have any friends. Walla. It's hard not to be skeptical after 10 years of being the worst team in the league. Well, actually, like 15. But here, this is the dawn of the new day. This is like Dawn of the Dead, the George Romero version, but in a good way. And this is where we got to look at it. You have to look at this hire as you're getting a guy who can teach. What does he teach? He teaches you how to hit the like button. But this is a guy that you're looking at. You're looking at this guy from a learning experience for a guy you traded up to get into the first round, and he's going into his second year, who doesn't have the physical attributes of like Fernando Mendoza. Because I will tell you this, if the Giants got the first overall pick and Harbaugh came to this team, Jaxson Dart would not have been your quarterback. Fernando Mendoza would have been your quarterback. Because Fernando Mendoza fits more in between Joe Flacco and Lamar Jackson. But you are working in a system, and Harbaugh is working to put together a system in place that is going to allow the maturation of your young quarterback. Dylan said Chode Sports, the tennis players don't like to hire. Oh, no. You mean Chode Sports? Excellent. The Giants have an excellent hire. What? I mean, that guy's been doing that fucking show for how long? Swing your arms, motherfucker. It's okay. That's what life is about. Swinging your arms. I loved it today. Someone was arguing with me on Twitter. I'm like, oh, you're an internet tough guy. I was like, F8, motherfucker. That's where I park every home game. Under the F8 sign. Come say hi. Tell me your point of view. I tell people this every 4 years. I've been telling this to people every year. Stop in, say hello. Tell me your point of view. Tell me your point of difference. No one ever shows up. And when they do show up, they're actually like, well, you're really nice. I'm like, yeah. Can't lie. Okay. I had a visceral reaction when the news broke, but I'm trying to trust the process. Winston Wilson, trust me. Look at his face. I should be on a dollar bill. That's how trusting I am. I'm a little tired today, though. And this Fallout Season 2. The finales tonight, so I'm kind of excited. I thought I was going to be on at 6 like it was last Tuesday because they launched it early, but it's going to be on at 9. So I'm going to have to start drinking early. New York State of Mind says, I'm going to remain positive. I'm going to wait to see. Definitely have to root for the team to success and succeed no matter what. That's the other thing I don't get. We have been waiting for a winning organization for years. We have been waiting for a winning mindset on a head coach. And people who told you this team was going to be good when they knew for damn well they were going to be shit because they were trying to do it for the likes, the clicks, the bleeps, and the boops. As you start building a continuity in your organization, they're like, I don't like it. Trubisky was a bust. Lowell. Great backup, not a quality starter in the league. So don't point. No, he was. Here's the thing about Mitchell Trubisky that people forget. Mitchell Trubisky led those Chicago Bears to 2 playoff appearances, and he had his best statistical seasons. And only time he ever did anything was when he was with the Bears. During that time, he went 11-3. He threw for 3,232 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Then the next year, he threw for over 3,000 again, 17-10. And he completed. This is a guy who was not known for great completion percentage. He completed 66, 62, 67, 75% of his passes. This is a guy who, and Mitchell Trubisky, I never understood why they traded up to get him because it didn't make sense to me. But this is a guy who understands he just didn't have the talent, but they got the most talent out of him. And his season, people forget he made the Pro Bowl in 2018. He also rushed for an additional 421 yards and 3 touchdowns. Mitchell Trubisky's ran for over 1,180 yards and 57 starts and 13 touchdowns. He's not a bum, but he's not good. Graham, that's Fireside Giants. Their opinion should get you mad. What do we got out of here? Toast says, we are so Toast, you're fine. No. Listen, Toast, if I'm telling you you're okay, Toast, here we go, Toast. When have I been wrong? When have I seriously been wrong? And I love it because people were right. I forgot all about this. I talked about Matt Nagy like 3 weeks ago. I see people in the chat were reminded. I love when people remind me about stuff I said. I don't remember. I say a lot of things, guys. I don't remember things that I say. I love when people send me clips of them saying, like, wow, I sounded pretty smart. T-Brad, what's up? I like Nagy. Hit the like button. T-Brad, where are you? I put the link in the chat. I was really worried when Davis, Webb, or Tanny, we actually have a chance to be out for an offensive corner. We do. What do we got here? Skate Habit says, the internet told me to hate the hire. They sheep. You're right. No one should tell you to hate this hire. This is not a bad hire. This is a good, smart football hire. And the problem with the internet and most content creators, they don't know football. So we do something right. We start doing things right, and they want to hate on it. Me, I'm in the everything is awesome land. If you would have hired Alex Tanny, if you would have hired Davis Webb, I probably would have been upset. I probably would have been. I'm not gonna lie to you, because it wouldn't have. I could not see you entrusting the entire offense and this philosophy to this young quarterback, to a guy that had never called a play before in their life. I could not see it. But now I'm sitting there. White guy dance. Everyone just needs to relax. Have a beer. Don't cost nothing. What has he done lately? What has he done lately? What have you done lately? Just throwing that out there. What have you done lately? Doug, what's up, Douglas? Matt Nagy is fine. He was also calling plays the last 3 seasons. Called plays in Kansas City, won 2 Super Bowls. Called plays except for a short period of time in 2020 with Kansas. I mean, with the Bears. Been calling plays since high school. This guy's a bum. Kevin Stefanski, people wanted to hire because he was a 2-time coach of the year with his only 2 winning seasons. Matt Nagy is a coach of the year. And his players loved him in Chicago and every place else he goes. And I love when people are like, well, he got fired in Kansas City. So you never got fired before. And football, sometimes you get fired because of the fact that other people have incompetence or because of injury. I trust Douglas. I trust the Harbaugh 100%. I do as well. Tommy Two Socks. Tommy Two Socks reposted this stream. Thank you, Tommy Two Socks. Just a question: after his time in Kansas City and Chicago, was he on anyone's list as a head coach or an OC? Can I ask a question? What does that matter? What is your thought process and philosophy here? I'm asking for a friend. Because after his stint with the Chicago Bears, he went to in 2001. In 2022, he was in Kansas City as a senior assistant and quarterback coach. Then at 23 to 25, he was the offensive coordinator in Kansas City. So, yeah, he got fired from the Bears, and the next year was in Kansas City. Dylan's loving the staff. I'm loving it too. Dark, what's up, Dark friend? I don't hate Nagy. He's fine. Wasn't much out there. He's a stabilizing force that has something to prove himself outside the Reed's shadow. I agree. Spitting fire. That's me, baby. That's me every day. Thomas Perez says, and to be fair, I don't think we did worse than what we have. I love it. Can someone tell me? I want someone to tell me. New York Revival. New York Revival. Eli, is that you? And don't give me any shit, Eli. Fucking come on. The link's in the chat. Come on. I'm like 45 minutes behind the chat. And I just saw, in John we trust. Eli, get your ass on here. I don't care. I'm at work, man. I got to go to work. You got to take the kids. Takes you 5 minutes. Doing it now. He represents Queens. I was raised out of Brooklyn. Reminds me of Spags coming in from the Eagles when Coughlin should got him. That's actually a good analogy. Marvin, what's up, brother? Stovin. We're like, Marvin, girl, because my rats come in packs like Sammy and Dean Martin. Everything's good, baby. Everything's good. Slatter says a lot of content creators want someone who hasn't called plays. Oh, that's where I was going before I got distracted by Eli. I got distracted. Eli, if you don't come on, I'm not going to pitch your channel. I'll start bashing you. And I like you. I like you and just your friends. I lost my fucking train of thought again. You're right. You're right, Slider. A lot of people would have been happy if we hired a guy who was never called plays before. That's insanity to me. That is utter craziness. You know what's also utter craziness? Not going to the mighty FanDuel. FanDuel.com, number one sports book in America. We've already checked the mighty FanDuel. The point spread has not moved on the Seattle New England Super Bowl. It's still 4.5 points. And don't forget, new customers, you bet $5, you get $200 in bonus bets if you win. I'm going to say that again. Join the sportsbook, win on a $5 bet, you get $200 in bonus credits. Also, there's this Huff and Puff casino game that I actually like. And it's an exclusive to FanDuel. I'm not going to admit. And new players, you get $500 in bonus spins if you sign up for the mightyfanduel.com. I love FanDuel. I got to admit, I'm always on FanDuel doing stuff. I got the app. I downloaded the app. I have my one parlay, and I'm going to tell you guys this on this parlay on FanDuel. And I already told you all about it. I'm going to win $87,000 on this 4-leg parlay. All I need to have happen is the Boston Celtics to win the NBA Finals. I've already won 3 of the 4 legs of my parlay. If the Celtics win, I get $87,000. Evidently, I was on crack.
Gentlemen, which brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
When I did that. But you don't smoke crack if you're on the mighty FanDuel. Don't forget to game responsibly. And also, we have to visit FanDuel.com, play with a plan. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I want you to go there. I want you to go to FanDuel.com, play with a plan. Don't forget FanDuel, sports games, casino games, fantasy racing, FanDuel TV, which I do enjoy to watch. New customers, bet $5, you get $200 in bonus bets. They're proud to bring you the show, of course. That's FanDuel.com, number one sportsbook in America. I don't know if they're proud. Just throw that out because it sounds professional. Well, he's better than Kafka. Yeah, that's true. He's better than Kafka. Someone named Nagy has clearance OC. Don't talk your shit, Tim Preach. I already did that. I'm way behind the chat, guys. I'm so sorry. Big Nichols, I'm going to try to get to everyone. Big Nichols, I'm not too familiar with Nagy, but you were spot on with your observations in the past, so I'm riding with you. We need some experienced coaches. Shockingly, we're getting coaches that have experience. I'm stunned. We have coaches that are known as teachers that know how to cultivate talent, who can probably get the most out of our players. What is fucking wrong with us? Why would we want coaches that could cultivate talent? Oh, dear Lord. We would rather just keep drafting guys and let them go someplace else and be successful. Because that's the Giant way. Not anymore, motherfuckers. The Giant way has changed. We have finally, like I said, I got a friend that used to be in charge of the Fifth Fleet. We have the battleship has finally turned. I've told the story before. He was commander of the 5th Fleet. And I asked him, how long does it take to turn a battleship? He was like, a long time. He goes, you see in the movies, they like turn these ships, they're like, stop on a dime and give you 9 cents change. No, he goes, it's like it takes forever. You got to move, and the thing that takes you got to move it around. We're finally turning the battleship in the right direction. Got to jump down the super chat I know my hair is reaching for the heavens today. Thank you. We got to jump to the super chat because all super chats go to the Chuckle Chops of Philadelphia. Nagy's got more out of a depleted Kansas City offense in 2005. Dart and Trubisky to be similar traits. Nagy was double dunking the way to the divisional round. I've said this before. Matt Nagy, if you look at his philosophy in Chicago, he ran a George Seifert style 49ers offense, young-esque. Not that Mitchell Trubisky's young, but that's the kind of offense he ran. And Trubisky and Dart have scared, and this was funny because when we drafted Jaxson Dart, the first thing I said is he reminds me of Mitchell Trubisky. His only success that Mitchell Trubisky has had in the NFL is under Matt Nagy. Think about that. He is a coach that people loved. He got fired. Then the next year he was in Kansas City. And then the next year he was calling the plays in 2 Super Bowl victories. And he called the plays every year in Chicago outside of a small period of time in 2020. But then he took the play calling duties back over again. This is a guy that his players love. Players will tell you they love Matt Nagy. They want to play for him. So why would you, Honeypot, I love Dart now too. You hire Matt, you got John Harbaugh. You got one of the best coaches that's been on the market since technically the Giants hired Dan Reeves. People forget Dan Reeves didn't win any, but he went to 4 Super Bowls. Dan Reeves turned the Giants around. I don't say that Tom Coughlin was one of the biggest names because Tom Coughlin always lost in the championship games and never made it to the big dance. Dan Reeves went to 4. Lost them all, but went to 4. You got him. You got Denard Wilson, that if you take a look at his track record in reference to turning around defensive backs and creating players, defensive backs, he's going to, you can't get rid of Deonte Banks now. You got to give the likes of Paulson Adebo another year. I wanted to dump Drew Phillips, but because Drew Phillips has got a 72% completion percentage against him for 575 yards, a bunch of touchdowns, at 10 yards a catch, but he makes all the tackles. But the problem is you have to prevent the people from making the tackles. I want to see what Denard Wilson can do with Drew Phillips. I'm going to let Flott go because you cannot pay Cordell Flott off the 6 good games last year. I want to see what Drew Phillips can do with a true mentor. Matt Nagy turned the Chicago Bears around, took them to 2 playoffs, did it with Mitchell Trubisky. How crazy is that? Mitchell Trubisky's only success in this league came under Matt Nagy. And people are like, well, he got fired. So no one's in the history of NFL ever got fired. Kevin Stefanski got fired, and you guys want a certain segment of people wanted to hire him as the head coach. And then I thought, well, he was a 2-time coach of the year. Well, Matt Nagy is a coach of the year. So I guess that doesn't count. And they both made it to the playoffs the same amount of times. What am I getting text message here? Yes, my hair is I love it. My loving wife is sending me pictures and memes of Prince Charming taking off his helmet and his flowing hair. Yes, my hair is flowing today. I'm not going to lie. I am not going to lie. Evidently, Eli didn't want to come on. That's okay. That's all right. That's all right. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Slider said, giant content creators want an OC who never called the play. You're 100% right about that. Big James says, a lot of Giant fans have gone through the last 10 years of failures, have no clue what a good coaching staff looks like or sounds like. Please excuse their stupidity. And here's my thing. Here's something I want to bring up, because this is actually a good point. And I've said this before. You have a segment of Giant fans that only know like from 2012 or 13 and beyond. So for 13 years, if you were 10 years old and you've been a Giant fan for 13 years, you have never seen success. So you don't know what success looks like. And then you go to these other content creators that just spew bullshit to you, don't tell you the truth because they think you're an invalid child and all they want to do is get your money from Super Chats. And you think everything that is going to be good, and truthfully, everyone knows it's going to be god awful. And then all of a sudden, that's all you ever known. But now you have something that is going to have intrinsic value. You're going to have success. Be prepared, Giant fans. You are going to be successful. And I'm going to tell you why. I've said this. I said it the day Daniel Jones inked that big contract. I said the Giants will not be good again in 2027. I said Daniel Jones will flame out. We will draft a quarterback in 25. We will put pieces around him in 26. And we will be competitive. I didn't say we'll make the playoffs. I said we'll be competitive in 27. Well, Daniel Jones flamed out. You got yourself a quarterback in 25. In 26, you are putting a coaching staff around him that is there to make him successful. And hopefully, we'll go through. They've increased the salary cap by almost $28 million. Giants only have about 11, but they can clear out about another 40. But to people out there that will tell you, well, the Giants can clear $100 million by doing this. Yes, but waiving 20 guys means you have to replace those 20 guys. So, yeah, so you can't just run around with a roster of 18 people. But they're doing it they are doing it the right way. And everything that I said that was going to happen the day Daniel Jones signed that contract is slowly happening. Is slowly going forward. I think Mitch Trubisky is still, I do still think he is with I still do think he's with the Bills. Timothy says, hey, whatever Harbaugh wants, Harbaugh gets. I'm good. I'm good with it. Let's cook. There you go, brother. Timothy's smart. I love Timothy. I don't know who you are, Timothy McDonald. I don't remember if you've been on before, but I love you now. Let's, to be fair, if Harbaugh trusts Nagy and Harbaugh trusts him, right? If to reach a Giant fan should trust. Thank you. Wisely said, Chris. You're right. Prince says, Tim, we're finished. The sky is falling. The earth is spinning up beneath our feet. We're done. But in all seriousness, how are you, Bubba?
Warning, sarcasm. Warning, sarcasm. Warning, sarcasm.
Well, let's see. The Knicks are on a 6-game winning streak. We're playing in Washington tonight. My hair's on point. I'm wearing my Reno Hightower jersey. We got a good OC. We're making smart football decisions. I don't know what to do. I feel like I need to curse somebody out because I don't know what to fucking do. Giants are being smart. And there's a segment of the fan base that's like spinning around in circles like, what are we supposed to do? I'm supposed to hate this. I hate it. Why do you hate it? I don't know. I just love people. I hate it. Why? Well, because he doesn't call plays. Well, he was the offense coordinator for 2 seasons and 2 Super Bowls, the Kansas City Chiefs, and he called plays almost his entire tenure in Chicago. Well, he had Mitchell Trubisky. Yeah, and he made Mr. Trubisky an NFL quarterback, and his players love him. And he turned a guy that probably shouldn't have had any success in the NFL and made him successful in the NFL. I don't like his hair. He could just have some of mine. Sorry, guys. No one's going to bring me down. Sorry. I'm going to have to stand as the bastion of hope and the light, the beacon that we all have. Oh, Super Chats goes to Philadelphia Charles. What's up, Big Massey? This is the year I started hearing about Steelhouse and Web hype. Despite them not calling plays, fans love them. Why? I don't know, man. Massey, if you could figure that out, could you please let me know? Could you please tell me why? Tell me why certain Giant fans are dumb. Tell me why. I can't sing today. My voice is a little cracked today. Yes, we want guys that could. Certain Giant fans like, we want guys that don't know how to. They've never called a play because they're fresh. It's always like that old joke when people are like, well, he's been injured for 2 years. And he goes, well, he should be well rested. So they've never called plays before. So yeah. Oh my gosh. I just love I just love segments of Giant fans. I really do. I'm trying to get off topic. I'm trying to get James Williams to do a podcast with me. And I think we should I think we should work on focusing on getting him to do that, because I've already put together, it's a podcast that covers sports and everything else, and I've already put the podcast cover together. And breaking news, I'm actually going to show you guys what the new podcast cover is. So it's going to be Rico Valor and the Angry Black Man, sports, entertainment, and all things that we probably shouldn't say. But James doesn't want to do it. So, and I can't find myself another Angry Black Man. So let's all convince James that he has to do Rico Valor and the Angry Black Man. Tell me why, Chris. Jim Bob Cooter should have been the Waterboy character. I think Jim Bob Cooter was the Waterboy character, wasn't he? Was he not? Age of Aquarius. What did I tune into, Eli? I don't know, brother, man. I'm all over the place today, but I love it. My only issue with Nagy is hires. I don't get to hear you make Jim Bob Cooter jokes all year long. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was so ready to make Jim Bob Cooter jokes, but not now. Because why? Come on, guys, let's do it. Just come on. Jump on board for the big win. Everyone just needs to relax. And the people that are bashing the Nagy thing don't know anything. So just don't listen to them. You'll be fine. And I have to admit it myself. I was a little upset
to Leo
because I wasn't going to be able to do my Dukes of Hazzard stuff because I had so much shit lined up. And now I'm not going to be able. Here comes Cooter leading the Giants. He better not wear Daisy Dukes and call the plays 100% right. I had so much shit going on for Jim Bob Cooter. Brian Dable got fired from every job he's ever been except for Buffalo. Oh, BP, I love you. BP, I love you, but not in that special way. But I love you, brother. Because I'm going to read this one because I've said this a million times. Brian Dable got fired from every job that he's ever had except Buffalo. Some fans were gushing over Dave's and defended him, and then he gets fired by the Giants. Philosopher man,
it's good.
What the hell are you wearing? Okay. I was just trying.
You know what that is, right?
No.
You never watched Marvel?
No.
It's the big guy, the Galactus. You didn't see the new Final Four movie? Or not Final Four, sorry, Fantastic Four? Okay, never mind. Nerd shit.
Ask me if I've seen any of the Avengers.
You haven't seen any of the Avengers? What kind of depraved life are you living, sir?
I've seen the first Captain America.
That was good, yeah.
And I saw Guardians of the Galaxy.
Nice.
And that's it.
Okay, if you're gonna watch any of them, just watch Infinity War. That's all you need to see.
It seems like too much work. That's too much. Okay, tell me what you think about this. Tell me what you think about not getting Jim Bob Cooter.
Yeah. So I actually like the hiring, but a little bit conflicted. Just a smidge bit.
Wait. Back it up. You like the hiring, but you're.
I like the hiring.
What are you a little bit conflicted about?
Well, I kind of heard your synopsis of his time in Chicago, and as well as his time in Kansas City. And what it looks like is he starts out hot and he starts out good and they get going and then eventually it just gets stale. I would say it was more like that with Chicago than it was with Kansas City, because Kansas City, to be fair, had a lot of issues with their offensive line for the last couple of years.
Oh, and Kansas City had a lot of dealt with a ton of injury issues. Even
Right.
going to Mahomes.
Right. And I don't think he did a bad job in Kansas City. It just wasn't.
He got 2 rings.
Right. So I think what people look at is they're looking at the bad stuff more than all the good stuff, because he's a good coordinator. He's a really good coordinator.
Right.
I just don't think he's a great coach, but we didn't hire him as a head coach, so I'm not really tripping on that.
We hired him, and I keep telling this, and this is not a slight, and I don't want people to think this is a slight, but who on the Giants reminds you of Mitchell Trubisky in reference to talent? About not their talent level, but the way they play.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's Dart.
Yeah, and you have a guy that got the most amount of talent he could out of Trubisky, went to the playoffs twice with Mitchell Trubisky, and when Nagy left the Bears, Trubisky fell off the planet.
Yeah, and so this is the funny thing to me is that people are getting pissed at this move, but then they're mad that we didn't get Davis Webb, and I'm like, so y'all,
it was never called a play in his life.
Exactly. That's the biggest point. He's never called a play in his life, and he only got hired as the offensive coordinator because Sean Payton had a little.
He was Bo Nix's quarterback coach, and Sean Payton and got into a little. He had his period, and
kerfuffle.
Kerfuffle, and he fired a bunch of people.
Oh my God, this dude Sean Payton, the last couple of weeks, this is bad for even him.
You know, it was funny when I forget which coach who said it when he got fired. It must be terrible to work for Sean Payton, because he even said, well, Sean had a Sean Payton moment. And I was like, well, what the fuck does that mean? And then I was thinking to myself going, oh, so he's kind of a dick. And he he was kind of just having a dicky moment and and you fired everyone because your second-year quarterback broke his ankle and you couldn't win with a guy that shouldn't even be starting in the CFL.
Well, the coldest part is the play that changed the game was a play call from Sean Payton.
Thank you.
But then you blame the offensive court. Like, who the hell are you, bruh?
I don't know, man. I'm trying, like I said, but I'm trying to tell people, listen, you need teachers here. You need guys that have experience. You have guys that can take a look at whomever is on defense or whoever is on offense and say, listen, I can make you a better NFL player. And Matt Nagy has a history of doing that. And he's worked with a quarterback that everyone bashed the moment the Bears drafted him, but he went to 2 playoff games. He went 2 seasons and they made the playoffs. Yeah, they lost both time in the wild card, but he went to 2 playoff appearances. And I think won 11 games and 12 or 10 games for those seasons with Mitchell Trubisky. And if you think Jaxson Dart has more talent than Mitchell Trubisky, you should be ecstatic that you have a guy that likes to run a West Coast offense, who likes a running mobile quarterback, and who has worked with them in Trubisky and Holmes. What's not to like? I mean, that's why I don't get with people. What's not to like about the hire?
Well, I'm gonna go from this angle because I like it 98%. This is my issue with both coordinators is that, but it's a good issue. It's a good problem. These dudes have potential to be head coaches. Matt Nagy, because he's already been a head coach, right? And then I believe it's Kennard, right? Kennard Wilson?
Yeah.
Kennard Wilson.
Denard Wilson.
Oh, Denard, my bad. Denard Wilson has potential to be a head coach as well.
Has a couple years down the road before that, because his failed tenure in Tennessee, I do not completely blame on him because there's really no talent in Tennessee. But I think it's going to take him at least another 4 or 5 years, unless he I shouldn't say that, unless he works miracles and turns the entire Giant defense around and, makes them into the 86 or the 90 Giants.
Right. And my thing is, I saw an interview with him talking about preparing himself to be a head coach. So obviously that's what he's eventually going to aim for. And I like that.
Yeah. I like Chris for the love of MMA. I've been putting the link in the chat for like an hour. You say you're jumping on. I haven't seen you yet. But like I said, there's just, and maybe you can explain it to me. You're a smart guy. You're an intelligent person. Is it just because of the fact that we have been so bad for so long that when we continuously do something smart, people don't know how to react?
Yeah, I think that's it. I'll give you an analogy. I got a perfect analogy.
Please.
It's like when it's an ugly, no offense to ugly women, but it's like an ugly woman and she gets with like this guy that she would never get with, right? CEO, 6'5", got all this money, right? She gets with this guy. She gets used to the good treatment. And then whenever he messes up, she's like, what is this? And it's like, dude, you don't even belong here.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, I just think that's what it is. Because like I said, there's a segment of Giant fans that don't know anything after, let's say 2012 or 13. You know, they missed the cusp of the end of the Super Bowl run in 11. And they haven't seen anything in 14, 15 years besides 2 playoff appearances and 1 playoff win in 14 years. And they don't know how to react when something and then you have content creators that are sitting there telling you for years everything's great when they damn well know we were going to suck. You build up this, and this is what I think it is. You build up this false hope, and then there's this huge letdown. But now you've reached a point where you potentially are building the franchise the right way from the top down, and certain people just don't know how to react, and all they can think about is, well, you know what? We can't do this. this isn't gonna work.
Right. Well, you already said it. A lot of the Giants fans are not smart anyway, so they don't know football well enough to understand, to see the forest through the trees. You know what I mean? So
I'm tired of
it. Is what it is. We all can't be smart.
I don't want to be the voice of reason anymore.
Have you ever seen that movie Idiocracy?
No, I have not.
Oh man, that's a good. So basically, this guy accidentally cryogenically freezes himself and ends up in the future, and everybody is.
I did see that, and he takes the IQ test, and he has like an IQ 97 or something like that. Like, and everyone else is like a 40. Like, you're a genius,
right?
Actually, I have seen it.
Right. So it's like we're the guy that traveled to the future, and the Giants fan base is the Idiocracy, basically. It's like you can't reason with stupid.
No,
you just can't.
You can't. But like I said, I just wish you as Giant fans, we finally have something to be pumped about. We finally have something to rally around. And then there's a segment of Giant fans and content creators and pundits like, I don't like it. He got fired from Chicago. Well, Kevin Stefanski got fired from Cleveland, and people wanted him as the head coach. I don't get it.
They don't know what the hell they're talking about.
You know, that's like Todd Munkins. Everyone's like, well, Todd Munkins should have took this job. Okay, Todd Munkins is going to be 60 this year. Certain Giant fans said that John Harbaugh at 63 was too old to be a head coach, but you want Todd Munkins to look for another job at 61 next year after he took the OC job here.
I think a lot of people think these dudes really just only coach for the love of coaching and not to get paid.
Wait. It's about money?
It's like they forget it's an actual job, dude. Like they literally get paid.
They get paid to do this? You're fucking lying. you're lying.
But no, I like the move, man. I like the move, Tim. I agree with everything you were saying. I'm just looking forward to seeing exactly how he can do with this offense, because I feel like the only offense where he had a lot more than here would be Kansas City. And even Kansas City's offense is a little, when you really look at them, it's not that special outside of Patrick Mahomes and Rashee Rice.
And young Travis Kelce.
Right, but this Travis Kelce,
this Travis Kelce is not what we refer to as, Travis Kelce.
So yeah, I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? I'll wait to see how this all is unpacked. I'm more interested in seeing how we build the team. Like, what do we focus on more, offense or defense? That's really what I'm more interested in than anything.
Oh my God, Chris, for the love of MMA,
Finally, I know. I'm slapping.
what the fuck are you, man? You're always like, I'm gonna come on, I'm gonna come on,
Finally here, right?
and you finally show up. I think the philosopher's getting stoned
I love it, man.
from your
Most
smoke.
definitely.
Digital contact high.
That's what it is, man. Chris,
Hey,
tell
I
him-
think
tell
that's
him-
what Giants guys doing, getting high over there.
I think Giant Guy has to be getting high over there. Chris, tell us, just tell everyone about this move. Just drop your knowledge for me, brother. Go ahead, just drop it. Go ahead.
So personally, I forgot how much success that Nagy had with Trubisky until you started pointing it out, and I started looking it up, and I'm like, yeah, damn, that is true. So I'm not at all worried at all anymore about that, and it just in general, we just got to trust Harbaugh. He's a winning coach. He's a good coach. There's nothing to really question about it until things fall apart.
Do you think, like I was talking about with the philosopher, do you think it's just because that, I mean, how long have you been following the Giants, Chris?
So since probably I would say maybe like 2003 or before at least, guaranteed.
So you've seen some success, but you've also seen the last 14 years where we're not successful. Is it just because that, you know what, and maybe the philosopher can answer this as well. Is it a fear of success? Do Giant fans and a certain segment of Giant fans after 14 years have a fear of success because they don't know what it is?
I don't know. I don't know if it's that or if it's just being stuck seeing incompetence within the organization for X amount of time, not being able to picture success. I don't know.
Oh, I like that. Not being able to visualize. Philosopher, are a certain segment of Giant fans having a fear of success or not being able to see the success? To as Chris was saying, do you think we've reached that segment on certain segment of Giant fans?
I think a big segment is like the team that plays on the field, the fans have to be on one accord with the team, because what happens when you lose is that you have to relearn how to win. So the team as a culture, the fans got to learn how the hell to win again and be happy with it. Because we've been hoping that we get the number one pick for how many years now, so we can get Joe Shane the fuck out. It's like
That's
shit.
sad.
We have been waiting forever. Chris, what do you think? Now that you've done a little bit of research on Matt Nagy about what he's done and what he's been a part of, what do you think he is going to do for the psyche and the talents of Jaxson Dart?
Well, like you said, he definitely likes a mobile quarterback, like a running quarterback. So I think if anything, he'll enlighten that. But hopefully between him and Harbaugh, he'll make him be a little more careful with the running. But I think he won't hinder his natural abilities, which is being a mobile quarterback. But hopefully they'll be able to get him a little bit more downfield passing, like, as well. But
Yeah, we have to hope we go to Dwight Young's got a great comment. It's funny how Giant fans celebrate the hire of a great decision maker, but we question his decisions. Makes no sense. Giant fans do not deserve success. They are all delusional. Trust the process. But that is a great line. You hired a guy in John Harbaugh because of his ability to make good decisions, to make good football decisions. But then when he makes a decision, philosopher, parts of the segments of the fan base question his decisions, even though he was brought in to make good decisions.
They just don't know their ass from their head. So it's just, you can't. A broke clock is right twice a day.
Yep.
So they'll get some shit right every now and then. Pardon my French. Get some stuff right every now and then, but but I mean, at the end of the day, their opinion doesn't matter on big decisions.
You can curse because I think Chris is smoking.
it's just wacky tobacco.
Throwing it out there, so we curse here, we smoke. It's called a channel. Giants guys, 8282. Are you the failed Giants wannabe channel that was up for years ago? I was just wondering if that's who these people are. I was just wondering.
I don't know, but he's a good troll though.
He's a good troll. I just ignore him. I like this with Jared. Positive Tim is having a great time. I am having a great time because there's literally no reason not to have, a positive outlook of what is happening these last 2 months because they're doing things right. They're finally doing stuff the right way. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to drop you guys off because I got to get out of here soon. So I want to make sure I get to everyone in the chat. Philosopher, appreciate you. Chris, man, you got to come on more.
Will
Chris,
do.
you're not working. You got to come on more, brother.
Will do, brother.
Smoke weed every day, buddy.
He works in a smoke shop.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Manage a dispensary in Albany. Hold up, roll
Just
up.
living the life.
One in Brooklyn too.
There you go, brother, man.
Have a good one, guys.
All right, guys. Appreciate y'all coming on. James Steiner, drop in real quick. James, tell me something good about this hire, brother. Come on.
Well, I'll tell you what I think is good about it. Nagy has shown the propensity to win games with the quarterback. He's dealt with a quarterback like Dart before. So there's a lot of good things. I mean, I've been hearing a lot of negativity coming from a lot of Giants fans, especially from Chat Sports over there. But you see, everybody is getting down on this guy for hiring this guy. But you know what? This fan base, and I'll be blunt when I say it, they've been losing for so long, they don't know what winning is like anymore.
And I think that's,
that's
exactly
the whole thing. The whole thing is, for 10 plus years, all they've seen is losing. They don't know what winning is like anymore. They don't know what it takes to build a winning organization. Right now, we're taking the first steps to having a winning organization again. So everybody needs to calm down, take a chill pill. Look, we may not be good this coming year, but I believe the next couple years thereafter, like in 28, 27, and 28, we might be there. But right now, it's like learning how to walk again. And that's what we got to do as an organization. We've got to learn how to walk again.
We got to learn. We have to learn. That is well put. We have to learn how to walk again. We have to learn how to be a winning organization again. And you literally, and I love it because people were right. You literally have guys. You literally hired a guy that people are supposed to trust to make the decisions, and now he's making the decisions, and people don't. A certain segment of the fan base don't trust him.
And that's sad, man. That is real sad.
That was such a great comment because it's so true, and you know, I don't know, James, man, I don't know anymore. When I'm the voice of reason and rationale, we're all in trouble. That's all. How you been doing, brother? We doing good,
man.
All right, okay. Good. Well, I'm going to drop you off because I want to get a couple of the people on. I do have to check out here on today, so I appreciate you coming on as always. Always the good comments by James Stein dropping in. I laugh because I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about the Chicago Bears in the first season that they won under Matt Nagy. They didn't have a 1,000-yard rusher. They didn't have a 1,000-yard wide receiver. Now, this is a team that I believe won 11 games. They did have Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack had 12 sacks that year for that team. The next guy, I believe, had like 5. So they had a pretty good defense, but they really had no one on offense. And your backup quarterback who played 2 games and went 1-1 was Chase Daniel. And he still threw for 500 yards, almost 70% completion percentage, 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So this is a guy that went 12-4, Matt Nagy, calling the plays, and didn't have a 1,000-yard rusher, didn't have a 1,000-yard wide receiver, and won games with Mitchell Trubisky and Chase Daniels. Tariq Cohen, I believe, led the team in receiving that year. But we're going to sit there and we're going to say this guy can't run an offense. But he went 12-4 with Tariq Cohen and not having a 1,000-yard wide receiver and not having a 1,000-yard runner. But that's all right. Oh, what do we got here? Who's our quarterback coach? I don't think we hired a quarterback coach yet. I think your offensive coordinator is going to hire the quarterback coach. So I don't think we hired a quarterback coach just yet. What do we got here? Tell me why I nothing. What Slider says, everyone's talking to Giant. Don't talk to Giant guys. Giant guys. I'm just leaving Giant guy in the chat because the more chats that he leaves, the higher I go up in the analytics. So just ignore him. Keyshawn the Bruce says, I'm excited about the New York Football Giants again. I am too, man. I am too. Let's see here. No, we're not going to get to that one. Slider says, Chris would love him. And say, we all know he's just troll Slider. Just ignore him and move on. Yeah, that's all you got to do. Just ignore him and move on. And like I said, the more chats that he puts in, the higher we move up in the analytics. And now it's all about getting subscribers and moving up in the analytics because I got to stay. So I'm not going to stay and not be successful. I thought this was a great point. I'm going to say it again because we still have 171 people watching. Hit the like button, guys. Let's get up at least to 80 likes before I leave. I would personally appreciate that. But this is what I'm going to say because I think it's a very apropos point. You went out and hired John Harbaugh to make decisions for your football operations, to make smart decisions for your football operations, to bring in the right guys for your football operations, to do things finally the right way. And now finally the guy is making decisions and people in a segment of the fan base are complaining about the decisions he made, even though you brought him in to be the decision maker. Does anyone else see the irony in that? Because I've said it before, irony can be pretty ironic. But does anyone else see the irony? It's one of those things that, and I do think in some regards, it's a fear of success. That we are so fearful as a segment of Pace of the Giant fans that we don't know what success is. I know what success is because I lived through the bad years. I've been through the good years. But I don't fear the success that this team can bring. And I think that's what it is. And it's not false hope. And maybe it's because of people, that are on YouTube or podcasts that preached hope for such a long period of time, like Chode Sports and the tennis players. And they preached hope for such a long period of time that it was always false hope. And it was always having the rug pulled out from underneath them, that now we've reached a segment of Giant fans that are just like, well, we're not going to watch call. We're not going to be good. We're going to be terrible. No, guys, this is all good stuff. And I'm looking to upgrade my heating. This is all good shit that's going on right now. And we got to just be happy and that we are finally going to be successful. And if you're finally going to be successful because of the fact that you finally have a good quality head coach that you haven't seen since Tom Coughlin, you now are bringing in a guy that has say over the likes of Joe, I fuck up everything I touch, Shane, and has final decision-making process, that you kind of just have to look at this and be like, guys, we are on the cusp of something special, but you have to understand that it's still going to take time. Petro says, I'm feeling Nagy hasn't had a lot to work with outside of Mahomes on the Chiefs offense. He made Worthy, who is another Hyatt, look good. You're right. In terms of his second stint with Kansas City, I agree. Hyatt might be out. I do think Hyatt's out the door. I do think, you've had Hyatt here for such a long time as a third round bust. It's literally time. It's literally time to move on from Hyatt. I mean, it's time to close the Hyatt and stay at a La Quinta Inn. It's time. It's time. It's time. Because I can't deal with Jalen Hyatt anymore. I can't. And like I said, I was a big proponent of Jalen Hyatt. I thought that he was going to be something special. I didn't know that something special meant that he was not going to be any good, but I thought Jalen Hyatt was going to be special. And I hope he does well as starting his new career as their manager in training at NBC Suites. Oh, but we're good, guys. We're good. We're good. You just need to relax. You just need to understand that this is going to be a process. I've said it before. If we win 7-8 games this year, that is going to be, hopefully that will be referred to as a successful season. We're just going to have to wait and see that, what we're going to do. Because when the season ends next Sunday, when the final gun sounds and the season ends at 9 o'clock or 9:30 on Sunday, we're only 6 weeks away from free agency. Does anyone understand that? When the season closes out, we are only 6 weeks away from free agency. And that's what we're going to need to start working about. Mr. Greg said, good thing we are still not as bad as the Jets. That's a good point. And think about that. Slider says, stop hiring someone who's fresh meat and go get someone with experience doing it. You're right. James says, thank God we got what we got is not as bad as the flamed out Jets. You're 100% right. Winston says, now we have to complete the real coaching staff so we can teach, develop, and evaluate talent. Let's do that before shipping everyone out. Well, I do think that's what they're going to do. There's going to be, and the process has already started, even without the coaching staff fully in place. There's going to be a process where there's going to be a complete valuation of talent on the New York Football Giants. And the process to me seems like it has already started. And we got to kind of just wait and see what happens there in reference to moving forward in the right direction, because this is what we're going to have to do, guys. This is what we're going to have to do. This is where we're going to have to be. And feel free to send her when you get some time. Oh, I love when people tell me to do something that I asked them to do, and they're like, well, feel free to send her when you have some time. Right, I should do your job. Chris says, I agree. It'd be nice to have Tyler Linderbaum. Like I said, Tyler Linderbaum would make sense. I already did it. I have a short coming out about how the Giants need to how the Giants can fix their offensive line. But of course, this news broke and everything. I had a great video for today. Everything got fucked because this news came out and I had to talk about this, and I'm not going to stream tomorrow. I won't stream again until Saturday or Sunday, but I may have a video out. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Unless some more news breaks, then I probably will come back on. But we're not at 80 likes. So if we're not at 80 likes, I'm not going to stream anymore. We're at 68. I want it to be at 80. We're not at 80. I have rules. No, I don't. Rules? What are fucking rules? Petro said, you think Harbaugh ends up keeping Banks? I can see him staying once on Banks has still got a lot of time left on his deal. Banks still got a couple years left. My thing is with Banks is this. Denard Wilson is known for working with young cornerbacks. He is known for making young cornerbacks better. Banks has suffered with the loss of Wink Martindale and his style of play. Denard Wilson seems to get the best out of the players that he works with in regards to the cornerback position outside of Tennessee. So I mentioned earlier, I would keep Banks. I would keep Paulson Adebo. I would keep Drew Phillips. And everyone knows I'm not a fan of Drew Phillips because he's got a 72% completion percentage against him for 575 yards, 10.6 yards reception. He makes all the stops, but the problem is this: you can't be Aaron Robinson and just make the tackles after the catch. Your job is to prevent people from making the catch. And he's done that now for 2 years. But I'm going to give Drew Phillips a clean slate because I want to see what the coaching staff, what Denard Wilson can do with those three guys in the secondary. I would not re-sign the likes of Cordell Flott because you're paying Cordell Flott after being good for 6 games this year. I would not re-sign him because I want to see what a guy like Drew Phillips can do, what Banks can do, and what Paulson Adebo can do under the tutelage. Let's say that again. under the tutelage of our defense coordinator. And that's what we're going to do. Next year, Drew Phillips, 78% completion percentage. It's going to go up. Winston also says, my thing is Banks is he needs to turn his fucking head around and not give up on plays. Yeah, I don't understand how, if you watched him play at Maryland and you watched him play his time under Wink, he was successful as turning his head. I still think he's got a neck injury. And I'm kind of joking. Not really. I think he might have hurt his neck because somehow he can't shift his head from one side to the other. So there's got to be something there with the neck injury. Cliff's from member say, for sure, center and left tackle are always the two most important positions on the line. I would talk about that, but I have the short coming out, so that will explain everything. That will explain all this stuff. Has anyone got anything else to say? Because I didn't get my 80 likes, which is fine. I'm just fine. I'm all right. I got 70. I'll live. Still got 172 people hanging in there strong as always, and I always do greatly appreciate when you guys stay on as long as you do. What time is it? It is all. I gotta make dinner. I gotta start dinner before 5, and I gotta walk the dogs. Should we check the commodities before I leave? Joe Ferries is in here to ask me about the commodities market. We were up. Gold was up 250 earlier, so. Gold finished out at 275. Silver's up 7%. Palladium's up only 1.5%, but platinum's up 4.5%. I'm trying to tell you people, especially in the commodities market, people at the end of the month, they take their perceived winnings and jump out of the market, but then they try to reinvest back in. It doesn't make sense because you're still buying the gold at a higher price. I've had gold that I've had for years. I've never sold. So I don't know. 71 likes. I appreciate that. Hey, Joe. Hey, Joe, what's up? We're just talking about you, brother. Tell people how you should not, unless you're taking the profit from your commodities holding, especially gold. But I've had gold that I purchased at like $1,100 an ounce. So I'm never selling that unless it hits a threshold. And I see everything like with Chase Morgan and everyone else saying that they're still projecting gold to go over 5,000, closer to 6 now. So I'm all for taking your profits, but when you're reinvesting at a higher price, you're reinvesting with the opportunity, the chance that you're probably not going to recoup or get as much money back when you reinvest when the market's so high, because you know what they always say, there's no place else to go but down. So I don't have to work, Joe. We had a good day. We had a good day, Joe. I know you're always worried about me having to go back to work, but we had a good day. We had a really good day today. I didn't check the market itself though, but I think we had a really good day today. I have to look. I'll look now. Everyone just hold on. I'm going to check the market real quick. See if we had a good day on the market. I should have checked earlier today. I've been busy all day. I've been moving some stuff. I can't check. Damn it. My passwords are upstairs on my other computer. Gosh, darn it. Darn it. I can't check. All right. Well, I'll check later. I've got to go upstairs and I'll check later. Market analyst has been bullish on metals for decades, but chill. It takes forever. When it moves, it moves. Oh, I know. Like I said, I got gold that I got at like $1,100 an ounce. I'm not moving on from that. Now, listen, I will flip some quick gold. Though, I bought some gold at like 3,000 something. I flipped that quick. But there's some long-term investments that I'm never going to technically move on from. And commodities move up and down, as you know, with the market itself. And commodities also move up and down in reference to current events. On a plane landing in a Russian military, transport landing in Cuba. I think that really kind of helped, jack up the price a little bit yesterday. So you gotta watch current events like the New York Football Giants. All right, guys, don't forget, this is Tim. This is New York Giants Straight Talk, brought to you by the mighty FanDuel. And FanDuel, we trust. Everyone loves FanDuel. I love FanDuel. You love FanDuel. We all love FanDuel. FanDuel.com, number one sportsbook in America. Don't forget, new customers bet $5 and win to get $200 in bonus bets. And take the like I said, I'm going to take Seattle and give the 4.5. That's my words of wisdom of the day. Appreciate everyone for hanging out as long as they did. Well, you're very welcome, Joe. It's always been a fun, great day. And like I said, probably won't see it Saturday or Sunday, but maybe we'll have a video. But there are a bunch of shorts coming out, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Like, subscribe, hit all note. Don't forget. Oh, before I leave, go to your notifications under my channel and make sure you click on all notifications. Because while we have a good percentage and we're above average on that in reference to YouTube, we need to get higher on that. So make sure you go now. I'll wait. Go now. Click on all notifications. Make sure that setting's on so you get all notifications for the channels, especially the shorts. And if you're an OG member, there's something special coming up for you. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Let's go. Big Chris says we're 7 more likes away. I'm okay, Chris. We'll get there. But thank you, brother. I greatly do appreciate it. And I want to thank Chris for Love of MMA for coming on, James Stein for coming on, the Philosopher for also stopping by, and of course our brother in Texas who thinks that 38 degrees in Texas is cold, the Big Don. This is Tim, the New York Giants Straight Talk, brought to you by the mighty FanDuel here on Believe. See everyone soon, and I'm out of here.